Hello, my dear amateur pilots. Today I will be your flight instructor. Let's begin with the topic. Defensive flying. In air combat, there are 3 defensive maneuvers everyone needs to know by heart. The rolling scissor, the flat scissor, and the split S. In today's lesson we go through each of these maneuvers in detail, so at least some of you can last longer than 5 minutes on the battlefield. In the end, we will combine all we learned and look at one example with multiple enemies. Questions? No? Then let's start. In our first example, we go over the general idea of energy fighting with a so-called turn fighter. Yes, turn fighters use energy just like energy fighters, but go about it very differently. This here is your optimal position to be in. If a turn fighter is above the energy fighter with same or even more energy, the turn fighter will always win. All you need to do here is to dodge the head-on and turn vertically, and you will have free and slow target right in front of you. But many of you asked after the last lesson what you should do if you are in the slower plane and can't outrun or out-energy the enemy. There is where defensive flying kicks in. You need to accept the reality that you are now in a disadvantageous position. But while energy fighters have chess openings, you have chess gambits. The first and easiest thing you can do is dodging. If you have someone diving at you, you always have the option to go into a downwards turn, a so-called split S. Now you may ask, what is so special about this maneuver? The answer is that you force the opponent to make a choice now. He can try to hit you or he can fly away. Depending on what he chooses, you can react accordingly. If he flies away, you can just reset the situation and buy yourself time. If he chooses to attack, that's where the fun begins. If he misses, he has to fly away and gives up his position. If you are really good in timing your evasiveness, you can even try to hit him, but because he has the speed advantage, it may be a bit harder to do so. But dodging isn't the most effective option. The flat scissor is perfect to go from the defense into the offense. We need to dive to equalize the energy. Then we start turning into the enemy when he approaches effective gun range, at about 600 meters. Then you pull hard into the vertical and let the enemy overshoot. Again, the better your timing is, the easier it is to hit the enemy afterwards, cause you will have way more gun time. This takes practice, but it's worth the effort cause it's very easy trap many people fall into, cause they don't know much more than pointing their mouse at things and hope the problem explodes. Important here is that your speed is lower than the speed of the attacker. If you are too fast, you will just stay in front of them and cosplay a target practice sign. Scissors are best for planes with bad energy retention, cause in the most cases, the slower plane will win the fight. We already explained in our second guide that by exploiting the energy advantage of the enemy, so we can just let them fly past us. This is mandatory for planes like the Spitfire or Zero, but also very important for situations where you can't fight someone for a prolonged time. It is also possible to disengage in flat scissor. In this example, you see Yak 3 and XP50 behind us. For most people, this would mean back to hangar, but because we know defensive flying, we turn into the enemy, hug them, and fly away from them. I know many people have a problem with getting shot at, but it's part of fighting, and everyone makes sometimes mistakes or wrong decisions that put you into a bad situation. At last we have the rolling scissor. The difference between the rolling and the flat scissor is like the name already tells you, the one is rolling. the other is flat. Here you use your roll rate, instead your turn rate to let the enemy overshoot. While in a flat scissor, you want your cockpit to look directly at the enemy cockpit. In the rolling scissor, you want your wingtip instead. In a fight, it's normal to swap between both of them, but as long you know what you are doing, there isn't much you can do wrong. When you see that the turning circles are similar, turn your engine off for a couple of seconds so your radius gets even smaller. Flaps also help you to get slower, but that's something for another guide.
They're out of action!
Now we use everything we learned so far. First we go into the flat scissor. Then a wild F4U appears, so we go split S. We extend a bit and go into another split S and extend again.
I don't know if I can do this, Monarch. I'm great.
Now we have a clipped wing Spitfire behind us. That's a bit suboptimal, but as long we keep turning, he can't get his guns on us. We take the free kill C3 and stay in the 2 circle. We are in a so-called rate fight right now. The Spitfire doesn't have enough speed to keep up with our turn rate, so we kill the Corsair and transform this into a duel with the handicapped Spitfire. This here is an aggressive maneuver named High Yo-Yo, but that's a topic for a future guide.
Hit the target!
And at last, we kill that key 84 that got away last time. Knowing how to defensively fly in stress situations can be hard, and nobody can make every right decision every time. But the more you practice and the more experience you gain, the better your results will be. I hope you will last a little bit longer now. Let's see what happened for our enemies. Don't forget to leave a like and sub here for the best War Thunder plane guides. See you in the next lesson. You are dismissed.